Alright friends, hello to everyone, and we continue to monitor the events on the front lines of Ukraine and Russia as well as in news. And today there is a lot of news that I'd like to share with you. And the main headline for today, as you probably already guessed from the title of this video, is the nighttime shelling of the city of Odessa. According to the provided information, 22 people were injured, including 4 children, as reported by the National Police of Odessa region. The rocket strike resulted in damage and destruction of civilian infrastructure, multi-story and private residential buildings, as well as vehicles. Many buildings suffered damage to their facades, roofs and windows. During the overnight rocket attack, Russia launched at least 5 types of missiles, including Caliber, Onyx, Ha-22, Iskander-K, and also used ballistic Iskander-M missile. The anti-aircraft defense managed to intercept a significant portion of missiles, but the rest caused devastation to the port infrastructure and at least 6 residential buildings, including multi-story ones. Dozens of cars were destroyed and many buildings in the city suffered damage to their facades, roofs and windows. One of the central squares in Odessa was hit, damaging the Ukrainian Orthodox Church Cathedral. 2 architectural landmarks were also affected. The city now has several craters and power outage. I want to focus a bit more on the cathedral. The Spaso-Preobrazhensky Cathedral in Odessa is the largest Orthodox temple in the city. It was reconstructed between 2000 and 2005 on the site of the ruined predecessor. In August 1794, the city of Odessa was solemnly consecrated, during which the location for the construction of the church in honor of Saint Nicholas, the miracle worker, was sanctified. The first stone was laid in 1795, and this temporary church became the progenitor of the future cathedral. The entire building of the cathedral has been designed as a monument of local historical significance according to the order of the Ministry of Culture and Tourism of Ukraine. I think now everyone understands the significance of this structure. So to say that the Russians are inhuman is an understatement. However, as we can see on their television channels, they have no concern for this, and they continue to joke about it.
Для чего? Чтобы по Крыму долбить там?
Конечно, сейчас мозг будут перебивать, конечно.
Ну, нахрен уничтожить Киев.
Согласен?
Уничтожить Львов.
То уничтожим, давайте хотя бы там, где, откуда эти ракеты поступают, там же этот переход, он...
А столицей сделаем Одессу, да?
Да, которую мы сохраним.
Нет, мы Одессу, конечно, не сохраним, простите. Мы ее потом заново отстроим. Так будет гораздо проще. Ну, что делать? Ну, по крайней мере, портовую зону. Я помню, что драмтеатр надо... Оперный театр надо сохранить.
А все остальное?
It's been reported that at least 25 architectural landmarks were damaged by Russian terrorists in Odessa last night. Among them were buildings dating back to the 19th and 20th centuries. The Russians intentionally targeted their missiles at Odessa's historical center, which is under UNESCO protection. Everything that was created with hard work by great architects is now being destroyed by cynical, inhuman individuals. And I believe nobody has any doubt that who the Russians are. They're killers and tyrants. Frankly, I feel ashamed to share this planet with this nation. But the destruction of the cathedral is not the only thing that characterized the Russians as inhuman. Here is another piece of news for you. The Russian army shelled Chasiv Yar with cluster munition. A fire broke out in the Palace of Culture, where humanitarian and medical aid was being provided to people. The institution's building was burned down, and thankfully there were no casualties and injuries, as reported by the chief of Donetsk Regional Military Civilian Administration. I'm relieved that nobody was harmed, but I think attacking places where aid is being provided is an incredibly despicable act. But the destruction of the cathedral and the palace is not their only crimes. Every day a large number of people die at their hands, so I suggest we now switch to the frontline overview. But before we continue, please give this video a like and subscribe to the channel, as your engagement is my motivation to keep producing quality content. And let's start right away with the Lugansk direction. In the area near Krymina, the occupiers are storming the forest near Dibrova, conducting shelling and attempting to capture Ukrainian positions. The battles are intense, but there have been no changes along the front line in the past 24 hours. The same goes for the area around Makiivka and Nevsky. There are ongoing battles and the occupiers are trying to push the Ukrainian forces back across the river, launching numerous artillery attacks. The situation is also escalating in the Svatovo direction. In the vicinity of Raigorodok, the occupiers are conducting offensive actions, attempting to seize control of the village. The Ukrainian forces are holding their ground and the battles are tough. There have been no changes along the front line in the past 24 hours. And in the Dvorichna direction, the occupiers failed to break through in the area near Masyutivka. So today they are only conducting artillery shelling along the front line. In the Siversk direction, the occupiers have currently calmed down and are only engaging in artillery shelling, with no new offensive actions being reported. And in the Bakhmut direction, the occupiers continue their attempts to regain their former positions under their control, advancing towards Grigorivka. They are trying to break through the fields, but the Ukrainian forces are not allowing them to establish a foothold, so the situation remains unchanged. Artillery shelling is also ongoing up to 15 kilometers deep. The occupiers are attempting reconnaissance and targeting Ukrainian military vehicles, but the Ukrainian soldiers are dealing powerful blows to the occupiers, increasing their losses. And in the Avdiivka direction, the situation is more complicated. The Russians are hesitant to encircle Avdiivka as they have realized they will suffer significant losses, so for now they are only conducting shelling. However, further south they show no signs of stopping and continue daily heavy shelling and offensive actions towards Pervomaiske, Krasnogorivka, Mariinka and Novomykhailivka. They are launching attacks from 4 directions against Ukrainian positions, but all their attempts have been unsuccessful. They are facing losses and the front line remains unchanged. In the Vuhledar direction, the occupiers are also attempting to reclaim lost positions near Velika Novosilka and launching offensives near Makarivka. Their offensive actions have been recorded here before, but everything is proven to be unsuccessful. In the Zaporizhia direction, the occupiers are actively shelling Ukrainian positions in the Pyatikhatki area. It has been reported that a Russian journalist from the RIA Novosti channel was caught under fire in the region and tragically lost his life. As usual, the Russians claim that cluster munitions are to blame for everything. According to information, apart from the RIA Novosti journalists, employees from TASS and Russia's Rossiya TV channel were also affected by shelling. Correspondent Roman Polyakov from Izvestia and the TV channel's operator Dmitro Shikov were injured, and this information was reported by the Ministry of Defense of Russia. Meanwhile, the self-proclaimed president of Belarus, Alexander Lukashenko, held a meeting with Russian dictator Vladimir Putin and claimed that so-called Wagner mercenaries who have moved to Belarus allegedly plan to attack Poland. Media outlets report that Lukashenko brought a map of the transfer of Polish troops to the borders of the Union state by a brigade near Brest and Grodno to the meeting with Putin. On his part, Putin stated that he sees a counteroffensive by the Ukrainian armed forces, but it has failed. Their meeting is expected to last for 2 days, so we await further results of this intellectual conversation. And that's all for now. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.